how much do you know about K-food? How much hanchik have you eaten?
We invite you into the world of Korean food, of course, including the history and culture of it.
We'll introduce trendy foods and famous restaurants on Dish of the Day with
Chef Ryan Phillips.
That's right, Chef Ryan is in the studio. We've got a packed studio as well in terms of not just food, but a little, what can I describe this as? Cooking equipment, utensils galore, sauces and everything. And we're going to be trying it in the studio, eating and discussing. But before that, Thanksgiving all done and dusted. You had a breather, Ryan, a little chance to rest?
Not really.
Oh, no. Why? You've been working still over the weekend as well.
Well, I posted the Christmas menu yesterday morning because it's December now. It's time.
Yeah.
And last order of Thanksgiving went out Sunday.
Yeah.
Actually, I got another one kind of this Sunday. But anyway, and immediately orders coming in. So I was at Garak this morning sourcing ingredients. And
when's the first Christmas delivery have to be made?
Well, like I said, I've got one this Sunday. That's it's a similar menu. No, but it's great. Why am I talking? I didn't really. I did sleep like 18 hours.
Wow.
Sunday afternoon until Monday morning.
My goodness, your body really needed that rest as well.
It was fantastic. Got some farm work done because it's about to freeze.
Yes.
I heard you talking about earlier.
Minus temperatures.
It's a-coming, so I had to get some things in order on the farm, make sure the garlic's covered. It takes a nice long winter nap. And then grows up later in spring.
Fantastic. Well, don't overwork yourself. Despite it being Christmas and you being in the mood, make sure you get enough rest as well.
Well, with a healthy food like this, what more do you need?
Today we are going to be healthy, absolutely. Many of you trying to guess what is coming up. What was it? Lilith saying, I see sesame leaves there. Are they? What are sesame leaves?
No, perilla leaves. We're not tormenting Peter today.
No.
He's not a huge fan.
No, and I don't think usually it's common to have them in this dish. Right. To be honest, you have like so many different leaves, but not perilla leaves, which is interesting. Yeah. Maybe because they're too flavorful, perhaps, right? Leon saying, it looks like a hot pot or a jonggol today. You could be on the right lines. But before we reveal that, we are going to talk about the hashtag 궁금증 or curiosity. Are you curious about anything in particular today or these days, Ryan? Is something piquing your interest in terms of, like, I don't know, maybe content, dramas, movies, podcasts, anything interesting at the moment?
Shoot. I am always trying to learn how to grow different things on the farm through the winter. So I'm trying a new technique with potatoes. I've been kind of doing a deep dive on potato growing.
What do you need to do for those in the winter, especially?
Well, they're in a greenhouse. Okay. So that's a plus. It gets so cold here. Not much is growing at all, above ground. Potatoes, yes, the potatoes are underground, but then they need that vegetative growth above ground to keep producing those potatoes. So they're in a greenhouse, and I'm going to try to add more soil. Have you ever seen this before?
No.
Okay, so one of the old school ways of doing it is like if you take used tires, used tires are like free and laying around. So rather than throw them in a landfill, you put them to use.
Okay.
So you plant potatoes in a tire.
In the middle, in the hole?
In the hole, for dirt and potatoes there. They start to grow.
Yeah.
Once you get the green vegetative, you put another tire on and more dirt and almost cover all that green.
And it wants to grow more.
And then it'll go more. And then you add another tire and another tire and you go all the way up. And then when it comes time to harvest, you just remove a tire, you take those potatoes.
Yeah.
And then you can remove another tire, take those.
Oh, the tires...
It becomes a potato tower.
Oh, they grow all along that vertical length?
That's right.
Wow.
That's right. So I'm going to kind of do that, but not with tires. I'm going to use like a frame.
Okay.
And it'll be like a whole bed of potatoes going vertical.
Wow.
And we'll see if that'll get us more and more. I'm trying to grow these special purple potatoes that nobody has in Korea.
Are they actual purple?
Oh, they're so purple.
What?
They're so purple.
What do they taste like?
Like potatoes.
Not like the purple sweet potatoes.
No, they're not sweet potatoes. They're potatoes, but they're a beautiful deep purple inside and out. And I want to be able to do smashed potatoes on our griddle with some Malden sea salt on there. And
That sounds amazing.
Drawn butter. And
I'm curious how that goes. You've never tried it before then?
growing potatoes that way, not me personally, but a farming friend. I watched him do it years ago, and so I'm down to give it a shot and see if these suckers will grow through the winter. It'll also help insulate the bottom ones, so even if it doesn't work, it'll keep the lower ones warmer.
Yeah, that's true, with all that soil on top. Excellent. Jackie's on board saying, good morning, Chef Ryan.
Good
Lilith's
morning,
saying, I used to not eat perilla leaves, but I like eating them now. And I am slowly but surely coming around.
That's right.
But Siska's also saying perilla leaves are a no-no for me. So what are we talking about today? Matta has said it looks like a fish broth to me. I know that you can use several different broths for this, but I don't think fish is one of the options usually.
Well, there is some dried fish in the broth traditionally.
Okay.
Yes.
That's true.
So we do start normally with the classic Korean broth, the dashima yuksu, which is made from dried kelp and leeks and onion, and you got to have that big Korean radish. I used ones that we grew on the farm this year to make this broth. And then the dried anchovies, you remove the head and guts and throw a few of those in. Sometimes there's garlic, maybe shiitake mushrooms going in there, but the basics are the radish, the dried kelp, and some form of onion. Yeah, that's about it. And the myeolchi.
Yeah, so that is the broth. The dish that we're talking about today is shabu-shabu, right? Shabu-shabu. So it's a really interesting spelling in Korean, like the sha and then the bu, like it's a vowel sound. It could be compared to dishes in other parts of the world, especially in Asia. They have similar things. So how would you describe this, Ryan?
Well, what's become so popular here these days is like Chinese-style hot pot.
Ah, yes, the huagua.
Right, and that is so many really strong flavors. And some of the things you add into those aren't always real healthy. They're like processed, different, fish cakes and stuff like that. This is such a really like delicate, beautiful, healthy thing. And then, like you were saying before we got started today, I overheard you. You can really cater this to whatever you want.
Yeah.
If you eat beef, thinly sliced beef. If you just want to stick with seafood, there are seafood versions of this.
That's true.
If you want to go, I've seen pork. I've not seen chicken, but I have seen pheasant of shabu-shabu.
What?
Yes.
Oh, you did say a long time ago. I was that's not a common thing to see.
It's more in the countryside and places that are famous for pheasant. But yeah, to see that picture, I mean, all those mushrooms, there's some tofu, there's some baby bok choy, Napa cabbage, there's some mung bean sprouts.
Yeah, looks like that.
In here today, I've got some soybean sprouts. It looks like I see some onion. Yeah. A lot of different mushrooms.
And that is what you would then put into your hot pot, right? So we might want to call this generally a Korean hot pot, but shabu-shabu is what you're looking out for in terms of the signs and everything. That's usually Romanized like SHABU.
Yeah.
And there are countries with this, right? Chinese hot pot is being talked about in the chat. Like you said, huagua is a big one where a lot of places have that half-half, right? One is like the really spicy one and one is like the kind of milkier version.
A lot of restaurants that do shabu-shabu Korean style also offer that, because you could have maybe a beef broth on one side and maybe this classic dashimi yuksu on the other side.
Yeah, and lots of places now are doing the individual ones, right? So it's just a little... I don't know, like a hot plate or something like that in front of you, and you've got a single person portion. And then we went the other day, so all four of us had a different flavor broth.
Oh, really?
And then we kind of nicked each other's and tried each other's. But I like the soy base one. There was a Japanese style, which was very salty but very tasty.
Okay. Yeah. And the kids love this too, because you get to play.
Yeah, anything you want, right?
Yeah, and usually these restaurants, man, I've been to one a couple of times here recently that is huge. And we were sitting there enjoying this and we were thinking, their profit margin must be so low. They're really banking on huge numbers of people, and they had a big parking lot and it was pretty full. And but you got this monster buffet, and you with all these fresh vegetables, different kinds of meats and seafood that you can just grab at will, but they give you a timer.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that even for the lunch deal, maybe it's only like 20,000 won, but you only have like, what is it, like 40 minutes or something, or an hour maybe, and then you're cut off. You're done. You gotta get out.
Yeah. And so this picture as well shows you like all the things that are put into a pot. Usually it doesn't look like that. It might be more like a mechanical thing these days. Like the ones that we had the other day were almost built into the table, and they must just take the whole thing out and wash it. But yeah, some of you asking, I wonder how it's different with Japanese shabu-shabu. So I think it originally came to Korea from Japan as well, right?
So true.
But I think the Korean version is much lighter in terms of the flavors and the tastes and stuff.
It really, really is. And just so much fresh vegetables.
Yeah, you just pack it in there.
What a healthy, balanced meal. You're getting this lovely, healthy broth, tons of vegetables, and your portion of meat is probably what we should all be eating. You know, it's like maybe by calories, maybe like 20%. Maybe comes from the beef or the pork.
It's really thinly sliced, so it looks like a lot. But then once you put it in, it's like, oh, that's not that much, but in a good way. Like you said, you don't feel too heavy.
I was preparing this yesterday, and I went ahead and made this for dinner for myself, and it was awesome, man. It was awesome. I'm trying to get this little cooker to get hot enough. You know, I'm used to cooking with gas and fire. This little electric jobber is giving me a hard time, but I think it's starting to steam, and I see some oil has come off of the beef, so we're probably getting there. Yeah.
Part 2, hopefully it'll be all right.
That's
so
right.
We'd love you guys as well to send in your versions of this if you have it in your neck of the woods or you've tried it, right? It could be Chinese style, Japanese style, Korean style, and tell us what you thought. If you've had all different types, tell us what you like and what you don't like as well. And yeah, we'll be back in parts 2 and 3 to show you the hot pot itself that we've got in the studio, also some of the raw ingredients which you could then put in, and then we're going to eat it too. So this is from Chongwoo, Sugar. And we're back for part 2, Dish of the Day, with Chef Ryan in the studio talking about shabu-shabu, Korean hot pot, we could call it, and many of you getting in touch. Benny from the Philippines saying, personally, I love shabu-shabu, and I have seen it and eaten it in many buffet restaurants. Yeah, I think in this part of the world, it is a common thing to have at buffet restaurants. In the UK, I don't think it's a thing yet, even though we like lots of East Asian food. I don't think I've seen it so much.
Yeah, buffet is usually what you see here. But I have seen some where you just order like a big set and just tons of stuff comes out. And if you want more vegetables, usually they'll do that. But if you want more meat, you got to pay for it.
Yeah, extra.
Siska writes that she's going to an all-you-can-eat shabu-shabu buffet this Friday for a work gathering. That's going to be a blast. Oh. And over there, they've got one of the broths. Could be mala or tom yum.
Oh,
tom yum. That would be kind of cool.
That is good, yeah. So any broth can go in here, and then it just changes the flavor profile. But traditionally, what Chef Ryan was describing in hour number 1, that's what we have, right? That's the base.
That's right. Yeah. The dashima or the kelp broth. Also, Lily writes, I've done the half-half Chinese hot pot, made both spicy and non-spicy soup bases myself from scratch. Ooh. And Lily, I got to say, in my neighborhood, the most popular restaurant right now. It used to be a malatang place, and malatang got so popular in Korea, so many places opened up, and I think folks are kind of over it because I would still go and there wouldn't be that many people there anymore. So they switched it, and now it has this little choo-choo train that goes around and sings Christmas music in Chinese constantly, probably every day of the year. I don't know.
That's interesting.
And it carries your broth to you.
Oh, wow.
You order with
train.
your phone. You order with your phone. The broth comes to your table, your number there.
There's like a track in there or something.
Yes, there's a track. What? And then underneath the train is the conveyor belt that takes all the ingredients around. Wow. And again, you have a time limit to get some of the stuff, the meats. But other things that are on the conveyor, you just keep going and going and going. I think I've been there 4 times already. But I haven't been recently because you got to wait an hour to get in the silly place.
Oh my goodness, there's a queue to get in.
It's that popular, but it is so lovely, and they have, of course, a lot of different broths to choose from, and it's become kind of gangbusters. Yeah.
Siska says our ones also have like miso, kimchi, collagen as well. Leon's saying the shabu-shabu buffet here is common in Singapore. You get about 90 minutes in there, and I've checked the difference between jongol and Japanese shabu-shabu. Jongol, the ingredients are arranged in the pot first and cooked together in a pre-seasoned broth. Japanese shabu-shabu is light and flavorless. Yeah, today is not jongol. Jongol is similar, but like you said, it's all arranged in there. But this is the Korean shabu-shabu, which I think is similar to the Japanese one. But when I've had Japanese versions of this, it's been a bit more salty, and there's been a bit more like soy in it, and the sauce has not been as plentiful. It's not almost like a broth. It's more between a sauce and a broth. I don't know.
This is normally, done at home or at the restaurant. It is so subtle. You have a little sauce on the side, so each individual can then season it however they want there. What we've got today is kind of classic. It's just like a little bit of soy sauce, a little bit of rice wine, some mirin, and just again very, very simple.
So we got the dish here. So let me show you the sauce first. If we get the camera up over to here,
not real dark. It's not a dark soy sauce. There's probably 1 part soy, 1 part mirin, and 1 part rice wine.
And then you can dip your meat or your vegetables or anything. You can almost dunk it in there, right? Yeah. Rather than pouring this sauce onto your ingredients.
Now, I will say more, recently you'll start to see a lot of different sauces at the restaurants here serving this dish. You'll see, there we go. It finally got hot. Okay. So you'll see often a sweet chili sauce.
I like
be
that.
Available. Yeah. Well, everybody loves a little sugar. Everybody loves a little sugar. Let me get you one of these, buddy.
And then the peanut sauce. I like that as well. My son goes for that.
Well, and that comes over from the malatang or the Chinese hot pot, right?
Yeah.
So I love that too. If you guys haven't tried that Chinese version of hot pot, you'll get a peanut sauce, a fermented tofu sauce. It's kind of funky smelling. And then you'll get a bunch of cilantro, a bunch of chopped up scallions or leeks, and you mix all that together, and you're constantly dipping stuff in there. That is why apparently there's a saying in Korea that shabu-shabu is the middle-aged version of mala or Chinese hot pot.
Oh, because it's a bit milder.
Because it's so healthy and not so super strong in flavors. So it's like if you're 20 something, you go for the strong, and you get a little older and you want to have these very subtle, very
you can't
clean.
Handle it basically.
Right.
You're too old.
I kind of take offense to that.
I do as well. Oh wow, this has got proper meat in it as well. A bit.
I cut that
usual.
Myself, and that is Black Angus Prime.
Goodness.
It's some nice. Traditionally, in this, what you'll find might be ribeye or maybe a buche sal, a blade steak. Something fairly tender but sliced really thin, not so thin that it falls apart as you pick it up, but super thin.
What is this, Ryan? This looks like something
chrysanthemum
I'm not going to like too much. It's going to have a bit of a pop, isn't it?
Sukat, the chrysanthemum greens. Yeah,
I might well try it as well.
My lord, you got all right. Go for it, Peter.
Okay.
All right,
there's the baby bok choy, and there's what are these mushrooms? Are these the enoki?
Right, yeah.
The long stringy ones.
In English, it's the Japanese name that gets borrowed, but yeah, they have a lovely little crunch, and yeah, it looks like this barely got done enough. Maybe we're gonna have a little more crunch,
which is good. I don't like it if it's all wishy-washy, and often you'll have like maybe Napa cabbage in there. That's one of my favorites too.
Right,
and then you can get out some of the broth, and because you've got the meat in here as well, it does make the broth delicious. It gives it a depth. Right?
I think what we've got here is bomdong, which guys, if you haven't ever seen this Korean winter cabbage called bomdong. It's a lovely, lovely thing that pops up this time of year.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's amazing. Oh, that's the one, isn't it, that grows kind of flat or something?
It does. It looks like a flower because it grows like a cabbage but flat on the ground.
So
and that's
we've got one here to show you. There you go. And do you mind if I put it in and it can
Go
maybe
for it.
cook? All right. So that's what you keep doing. Like, you don't just cook it one time. You keep on adding ingredients and cook it some more.
Yeah, if this little cooker would get hotter faster, I would have waited and we could have just done it here. But I didn't want to risk it and have to feed Peter raw shabu-shabu. So. All right, I'm going to try these mushrooms. See our texture.
And like they said, the flavor is really subtle, so it's totally up to you. If you like subtle, you just eat it like that. But if you like the sauce, you coat it in sauce and just eat it like that as well. And that's totally delicious as well. And then you got the crunch. You got a lot of crunch in there, right?
I do. And the meat's so nice and tender.
I can imagine the meat looks perfect. So I'm going to dip that in the sauce for sure. And then maybe bring that saltiness with the rest of the veggies. With the bok choy, which is crunchy as well. Got the ASMR.
Another thing you'll see with this at the restaurants is you can get the little rice paper wraps. And you just dunk them in hot liquid, or in right here, just dunk them real fast if you've never used them. It's like spring roll wrappers. And if you drop them in a hot broth like this, just for a second, you can take them right out, and they might seem a little firm for a second, but they're going to quickly get soft.
Yeah.
And then you load different things into them, roll that up, and you've got the yolonsam.
That's my daughter's favorite.
I bet.
And yeah, they give you separate hot water. You're not putting it usually in this broth to like loosen them up, right? There's often some hot water that you can get in a little bowl. CT says, I don't understand that. Why do we use Vietnamese rice paper for shabu-shabu? The rice paper is usually meant for non-hot food, not something that's just been cooked. And that's what lam sam is, right? It's the cold food, and you put it in like that. It is true. And I have found when I do this, because everything's so wet, it'll
fall
leaks
apart
completely. Yeah, and it's so messy to eat. So I don't know if this was, designed to be that way, but people seem to enjoy it that way.
Maybe it was just a restaurant owner thinking, how can I get these people to fill up faster so they eat less fresh vegetables and meat? Let's give them some rice paper.
Rice paper is really cheap, isn't it, to buy?
And filling.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Lilith says, I love the colours here, and I can imagine how that smells. Yeah, it's just so deep, like the smell. And the vegetables obviously impart a lot, but also, I'm showing you, and it's way too close up, but here are all the fresh veggies that you'll get at the buffet, and then you just chuck them in. And things do take different times to cook perfectly, but shabu-shabu, I think it's a dish where you can be forgiven for overcooking something and undercooking other things, because it's all in one pot. It's all right.
Well, there's often thinly sliced potato or pumpkin, and obviously those kind of things are going to take a little bit longer. If you are doing this at your table, you're going to have a burner, or these days usually it's an induction, and you can just hit those numbers up and down, to your liking. And the staff usually come over and help you out, especially if they see that you don't look entirely Korean and they think you have no idea what you're doing. They'll come over and take over for you.
They will help you. And you can always get the broth refilled. That's complimentary. They'll come over with these big jugs and pour it in for you. Dumplings are often a thing that you can find there and put in, right? So it's a really filling meal with that buffet. And then afterwards, after you've taken out the majority, it could be noodles, porridge, or both, right? You could go for both of those things.
I love this aspect of this. It can be a 3-course meal at your table. Okay?
With the same pot.
Right. Because you enjoy it this way. And then you holler at somebody, or maybe you've got some noodles on standby. You drop in the noodles.
It's the kalguksu usually.
Usually it's kalguksu, and they have a lot of flour dusting on them, and that immediately thickens up the broth. So you go from having this lovely, clean, like zero carbs here, right? And then you have this like really heartwarming, put you to sleep kind of kalguksu. But that's not all. No. Then you finish that, and if you're still hungry, you can do the bokkeumbap. Throw the rice in there, and maybe some fermented kimchi, and maybe an egg, and some labor, and mix all that up. Some sesame seeds, and then you're definitely full.
Yeah, and when it's been boiled down that much, like what you left over, especially with the salted seaweed, is quite a salty like rice. It can be almost a fried rice, or almost like a porridge on the edge of that as well. And that is my favorite thing. Like, it is a salty pow in your mouth that you maybe don't expect from porridge or rice or bokkeumbap. Oh, it's the best rice ever. But I'm usually too full after the noodles, and I'm like, I tap out.
I don't think I've done all three ever either. Yeah. It's like you choose one
or the other usually, right? Because otherwise, you might not be left with enough broth at the end. You could ask them to top it up, like we said. We will be back in part 3. We'll give you a rundown of maybe how to do this in different parts of the world with different ingredients. We'll talk more about some other things that you might find in here. This is it's Rothy, Chan, and Logos first with Fresh Air. We're back for part 3, Dish of the Day with Chef Ryan, talking about shabu-shabu, Korea's version. Hot pot, you might know it as, in different parts of the world. We got a load of messages coming in, and Leon has sent in a photo of this. Oh, this, you said, was my Lunar New Year's Eve reunion dinner hot pot. We call them steamboats. I've seen steamboat as the name of a restaurant as well. This was a tomato broth that we were having. I've seen that as an option in Korea as well.
I did see that. Yeah.
I think that would be maybe new. Along the lines of tom yum goong then, right? With a bit of tomato in it. But I can see that working. And wow, you've got the prawns there, I can see. And then what looks like maybe some fish cake, some meat, some dumplings. But yeah, the key to this, I feel, is lots of vegetables, right? More vegetables than you think you want, right? You might see it and you might get a whole bowl full, right? It might be coming out.
They cook down to nothing.
Yes, yeah. Like they get so much smaller in the broth, right? And they kind of shrivel up. And that's what's making this healthy, surely.
It really might be the single best way to get kids to eat vegetables.
Yes. My daughter, fussy as anything, will eat, what will she eat? She'll eat some of those mushrooms, the stringy ones, and then the bean sprouts as well.
Yeah. Because, it's so clean and easy, and you can adjust the seasoning the way you want. Yeah. And it makes it fun. You're cooking this in front of yourself at the table.
And then with the broth, as it gets saltier, depending on what you put in there, then the vegetables take on that flavour profile. Maybe the beef broth goes into it. And then it's much more palatable for the kids. It's really good. Message from Ben says, makes me want to have hot pot soon. Wow. And it'll be hard for Iris, who's our 2 p.m. host. She loves hot pot. Well, hopefully the aroma will still be in here and will make her even more hungry.
Yeah, Lily writes, that's why I like hot pot. It's often more vegetables than meat.
Yes.
Yeah, ditto. That is the best. Leon also says, shabu-shabu in Japan, a light, almost flavorless broth. Okay, I haven't tried it that way.
Neither have I. I'm really curious to see it that way. The Chinese version, like we said, is quite popular here, known as huagua, so as a different thing, not called shabu-shabu. And yeah, like you said, the buffets are so popular now, like everywhere. So many different versions. And I think it is because everyone can eat together, but you can all eat something different depending on what you like from the buffet cart.
I really kind of think they cracked the code for convenience and taking care of a big group. I mean, the reason huge buffets in America have done so well is because, people have unique choices as to what they like to eat. You go to a buffet, everybody's happy, right? Yeah. And this, actually, somebody should really take this to America.
And
go huge, because it's such a healthy version that still allows everybody to have choices.
Yeah.
Now, I will say that the more modern ones of these, you don't have to necessarily go healthy.
No.
They start to serve, they'll have fried chicken. Korean-style fried chicken on the buffet as well.
Not to put in here, of course.
Not to put in here, but just to enjoy. There's ice cream machines, coffee machines, even I've seen all-you-can-drink beer.
Oh, yeah.
In your time limit as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of different dishes that are more common on a buffet line just to fill up.
I think when I first saw this, and I'm guessing Western diners might think it as well, like, oh, that looks a bit bland, like just putting meat into boiling water and eating it like that, because there's all the sauces around it, and once you try the broth that has been flavoured then with the beef and everything else, the flavour depth gets deeper and deeper as you're eating. And you just got to get through that stereotype. So if you're looking at this and thinking, it doesn't look great, it tastes brilliant. And again, you're tailoring it to whatever you like. So
Totally.
if it doesn't taste nice, that's your fault, actually.
Well, and you've always, if you think this is bland, if you're not used to having subtle flavors like that, you've always got your side sauces.
Yeah.
And it's not just this simple one that I brought in to share with Peter today. There's also usually the chili sauce or the peanut sauce or others.
Yeah. So if people abroad want to try this, but they don't have like the dashima and the melchi, so the kelp and the dried fish, what could you start with it? Just anything?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you could do a beef broth. You could do a chicken broth. You could do a vegetable broth.
Chicken broth would be good. I've never seen that here, though.
Yeah,
chicken broth would be good.
That would totally work.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah, and it is different to a chicken soup or a beef soup, right? It's a light broth that you're then cooking the ingredients in.
My guess is the dashima broth became the original in Korea because it's the most common.
Yeah.
This is what we use in almost every soup in Korea. You start with dashima yuksu.
Yeah. And so if you're doing the broth, you need to cook the broth first.
Right. Yeah.
So put all those ingredients in
you
there.
You can make your broth the
boil.
day before, or start that earlier, if you're going to do a dinner of this or something.
And then you've got it in front of you, and you want to have the fun of cooking it in front of you if you can,
absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
But that's the problem in the West. Like, you probably don't have something to do that at your table at home, right?
It's pretty easy to find just a little butane burner these days,
Yeah.
Keep it safe. Be safe, guys. But yeah, something like that on the table. Actually, I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to be with family and friends.
Yeah, over Christmas, right?
Just the day after Christmas this year. And they're actually moving Christmas back a little bit so we can all be together.
Aw.
Yeah, that's pretty cool,
nice.
huh?
Changing Christmas.
Yeah.
You can do that for family.
Yeah, so it'll be the first time that a lot of, like, some of my cousins I haven't seen in over 10 years, so it's going to be pretty special. So I'll have to do something like this, and I'll probably just find a butane burner, make any kind of broth, and then just have a plethora of vegetables and thinly sliced meat around, maybe some shrimp, maybe, who knows, maybe I'll freak them out with some weird stuff too.
Because you can get the seafood. My kids, when we went to the place recently, the meat was included in one person's portion, but you could order extra seafood like prawns, but also hanchi, like, I don't know what that is, some kind of squid or cuttlefish.
Oh, that's
right?
the really expensive, smaller squid, yeah.
And my daughter loves it, and you just put that in there for about a minute and it's done. With the thinly sliced beef, it's usually like, I think even less than a millimeter thin. So you could put it in there, because it's a boiling broth usually, for like 5 seconds, and it's done. So
Yeah,
you
it's
just put your
so cool.
chopsticks in, take it out,
You
and
just
you're
hold
eating
it in there. I used to think you had to throw everything in for a while. And then I learned, well, then you lose the meat. It disappears.
It does. It gets lost at the bottom, and then it sometimes falls apart if you leave it in there too long. And you're like, oh no. So power tip is hold it with the chopsticks. Just do it for a few minutes, and then, no, a few seconds, literally 3, 5, 6 seconds.
Right.
It's done.
This is a poor example. If you were at a restaurant with this,
It doesn't look
our
like
little
this.
our little cooker's just not quite doing the
struggling.
job. Normally, it would be bubbling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, like, once you've had most of it, you then turn it down, and it's maybe simmering like this. And then you crank it back up when you have those noodles, like the cobra soup.
Right.
And those always take longer than you think. Like, they're noodles, and you're like, they should be ready in a minute, but they usually take a good few minutes. And then you have to try it to see if it's done or not.
Yeah,
And then maybe it is, or maybe it's not. Gotmaram is the best shabu chain in South Korea. I go there every time I go home. So you're from Ulsan, CT. I've not heard of Gotmaram. The one that I've seen recently that's really booming is Shabu all day. So literally all day shabu-shabu. And that seems to be popping up here, there, and everywhere.
Man, if you can walk into a place, sit down, they bring you a hot broth to your table, which then heats it up more while you're going to the buffet, grabbing everything. I mean, you can get in and out of there for lunch.
Yeah.
It's less than $20 a person. Yeah. You have anything you want, coffees and ice creams included. I was like, man, how do you compete with this?
Yeah, if you're not a big restaurant chain like that, that's going to be difficult.
Boy, oh
isn't
boy,
it?
yeah.
And our writer wrote a list of foods that go well with shabu-shabu. Kimchi as a side thing, not usually in here, right?
Right.
And then ponzu as the sauce. That seems to be trending. I think it's a Japanese thing, but that's a sweet sauce that goes well with some of these ingredients, of course. And you mentioned two of the things that I like, the sweet potato and pumpkin slices.
Yeah.
Those are good. They do take a bit longer. And those can fall apart as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So be careful to keep them like at the end of your chopsticks or something.
Then you get to learn. You get to, play with it. See how, what's going to flavor your broth.
And we do this at home, but my wife will cook it and then bring it to the table. Because she gets really worried about kids burning themselves on something hot.
Sure.
So if you do it that way as well, it's not as fun, but it's still the same effect. Like if you don't have a burner, just do it on your stove and then bring the finished thing there.
Absolutely, Totally That's kind of what I did at home last night anyway,
Rye, thank you so much for coming in today. This is perfect for the winter season as well, like
it
really warming.
Yeah.
But it's an all year round thing here, totally. It's not a seasonal thing. We will see you again next week for another dish.
Thanks, man. See you then.